Here we go.
Go ahead.
So, Chris and I just got together today to chat about the rail trail, to kind of update everybody on what we've been up to, what the kind of end game is here, some of the problems that we faced.
How long have we been on the rail trail? How many months?
I think our first cleanup was in late October or early November of last year. So,
Right.
yeah, so it's been 2 to 3 months now.
Right.
Yep.
And our focus at the time was to clean it up.
Yeah, and we did, right? We had
Right.
like 30, 40 volunteers there, and we cleaned
Right.
the whole thing up.
And that was our intention,
Yep.
was to get our rail trail back,
Mhm.
because it's a beautiful space. But we ran into...
Well, I kept walking on it. It kept
Right.
getting dirty again
Right.
and full of it. And then we brought the kayak out, we cleaned up the water.
Right.
Yeah.
But the main purpose was to clean up the
Clean
rail
up,
trail.
yeah, that's why we went
and
down
get
there.
the park back to the people.
Yeah.
But we found...
Yes. So around close to the Britland Park area, and I had been mostly on the other side.
Right.
So I didn't realize the extent to which people were living in the area.
Right.
Large numbers
I
of
think every
people.
time we went to the rail trail, we found another encampment.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And when we say encampment, to be clear, these are not just 1 or 2 tents. This is like
Communities.
some of them
It's
were
like
actually
communities, yeah.
some of them were actually like apocalyptic in how they looked.
Oh, like with trash. And
Right,
things. Yeah. Yeah.
right.
The issue of removing trash is a huge problem. Yeah.
Right. So bad that we were overwhelmed. We couldn't possibly clean
No,
the volume that
no.
was there. Right.
No, and it was just going to keep accumulating. I mean, if you have 20 people living, just think how much trash you accumulate on a given
Right.
week, right? And we have garbage, people that come and
Right.
pick it up first and take it away, but...
So the garbage
Yeah.
was shopping carts, microwaves,
piles,
just
yeah.
mattresses, tires.
Yeah.
Because it's important for people to understand that this is not just a tent and a little fire pit. These are major
like 20 people
environmental
living in an area.
disasters.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was pretty bad in some
Yeah.
areas, yeah.
You would say an environmental disaster,
Yeah, especially when it's going down into the river.
Into the
and
river,
Yeah, it's all
right.
over yeah.
right? So that became overwhelming, and we're like, "Oh, what do we do?"
Yeah.
Right? But another problem that came, not a problem, an obstacle, was that we wanted to clean the rail trail, but we had homeless people living all over the rail trail. So
Yeah.
how do you do both?
Yeah, and that was
Right.
the kind of, and so what's the solution, right? And so we came up with the idea of, like, let's help them and they'll help us and we'll get the area cleaned up.
Right. So I had to switch my personal beliefs in that nobody should be living on the trail. Right? I mean,
Yeah,
that's how
yeah,
I really
no, yeah,
felt.
yeah, you've
Nobody
been
should
saying
live
that
on
for
the
a while,
trail. The trail belongs to us and the earth, and we need to get it back. But people are there.
Yeah.
So I had to flip the script a little bit,
Mhm.
right? And we did.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of came up with the plan of getting them involved,
Mm-hmm.
right? Even though it frustrates me sometimes,
Yeah.
to be honest, we had to come up with all kinds of ways to get them to trust us enough to accept the help so that they in turn helped us.
Yeah, and it wasn't really hard. I mean, there's still like one area too where I haven't been able to talk to the person there enough too. But I mean, it just sort of introduced, helped out. What do you need?
Yes.
And then talked about trash with them, right?
Because
And
you're
the
better
problem
at
of
you're
it.
better at it than I am. I get frustrated,
Yeah.
right? And they can tell that I'm getting frustrated. And so they go to you.
Well,
It
I
really-
don't know if it's that.
it
It's just
really-
that I was wandering around there a lot.
Yeah, but
I
there's a
kind
bit
was
of the
there for,
mommy
like,
daddy
fairly
syndrome
often. Yeah,
Um,
but I think a lot of part is I was down there a lot too. Like,
Right.
oh, what do you need? Or this, what do they need? What do you need? And I kept trying to, bring things down. And you were the one collecting it through donations, which I needed your support with that. And you've done
Right.
a wonderful job. Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't have been able to do all this on my own. It would have cost too much money.
So part of the solution was getting them together to be part of the solution.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they did. They're doing, and they are.
Mhm.
They're doing a good job.
Yeah, I think
Right.
if you, I mean, places, I'm going to do a video, I'm going to, ask because we have some of the before,
Yeah.
and I want to show an after,
Yeah.
right? And the place is much, much cleaner. And there's still
Right.
work to be done, but this is something over time we're going to continue to,
Right. I think
so
the most effective
discuss.
thing we ever did was I went and got Alex Simon and his company,
Yeah,
Ace Junk
that was a big
Removal.
one, yeah.
For me, that was just impactful.
Yeah.
Right.
Because that was an abandoned area.
Right. That was and it was a large area with actual structures.
Yeah.
Right. And this was abandoned.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was the most impactful thing we ever did was just have them come in, and we had the DOT there, we had the DCM there.
Yep.
We had all kinds of involvement, but
And DCM's regularly helping as well.
right. But Alex Simon did the bulk of the work,
Yeah.
and he cleared that down to the earth,
Yeah.
which was amazing.
Yeah, it's nice. It's like a nice area. They should put
Right.
park benches over there,
Right.
licking the water. Yeah.
I still feel just as important as taking it out
Mhm.
is preventing reentry.
Yeah, I mean, we can't have people come in and wreck the place, right?
Right.
And if people have to live there, once again, this is sort of beyond me, right?
Right.
Like, I'm not, I could go on and on of what, just what should happen in the world. I don't have that kind of power, right?
Right.
There's people there, right? If we bring them into the community, I think they act like they're part of the community. And that's like, hey, we help you, you help us. And I think we can
Right.
get people to keep areas clean, but it's going to be an ongoing process. But we definitely don't want people just move in and wreck a place,
Right.
Yeah, we have to be there, in this sort of relationship with them.
Correct. And we are.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to realize that this is a difficult population on the rail trail,
hmm
right?
Yeah. I mean, these are people that are homeless. I mean, that's
Right.
Yeah.
And I still go back and forth sometimes. I'm like, but they don't belong there. But in the absence of having a place to
Yeah.
go,
So where do they go? That's
we
the
have to
issue,
care
yeah.
for the people. And that's where I stand on it. I still think that the park shouldn't be a place to live, but that's where they are. So we have
No,
to
and
meet them there.
I think all of them probably agree with you too. There's just not a solution right now, right? That
Right.
meets their needs.
I think there are solutions.
They're just not there. Though.
Right.
They're not
Well,
happening. I'll say.
Right, they're not happening. I think there are solutions to a lot of these problems, but I think unfortunately, like most things, the homeless crisis is a business. It's a money maker.
Yeah, I've heard the term.
I know that.
The
I know.
homeless industrial complex, right? Is that if
right.
the issue persists.
And I know you may be uncomfortable talking about it.
Not that uncomfortable.
But
I have
I'm
problems
not.
with people
So
not
what-
getting it done.
Right. So whenever something becomes a business
Mhm.
or a political thing,
Mhm.
it gets screwed up.
When it's big.
Right.
Yeah.
And the person that these businesses are there for just become a product to be
Mhm.
moved around to make more money.
Mhm.
And when the system is like that, they're not going to get any help. We're not going to get any help.
Yeah, they should be getting help. I mean, yeah, and I
Right.
think I think the issue isn't as hard to solve as it may appear, right? And I think with the money that's spent on it, and just the things that we've done, and I mean, 3 people already out of there,
Right.
in housing, right?
Yep.
One's got a job.
Directly because of us.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's that hard, right?
Right.
And I think that we've gone down there with very little money, very little resources,
Right.
And there's multiple millions of dollars.
Okay,
being
so I think
spent.
that's important. So 3 people are out of there because of the work that we did with
Mhm.
no resources, very limited resources. The help of the residents of Fall
Mhm.
River, actually,
Mhm.
donations and things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
I don't have the professional background or the educational background to deal with this, right? I'm a sandwich maker. You're a therapist, and we were able to do it.
Yeah, we're not policymakers.
Right.
We're not, yeah.
So, but the thing is, there are companies out there whose sole job is to care for the homeless population.
Yeah.
Right. There are people who get paid $2, $3, $4, $500,000 a year, and their
Probably, yeah.
only job is to do that.
Mhm.
But we come in,
Mhm.
and in a couple of months or a month actually, we're able to find housing for 3 people. We're able to clean up.
Mhm.
We're able to get their cooperation.
Yeah, and not to be a jerk either, but that wasn't even really trying. Like, I haven't even gone down there and tried to get people into housing
Right,
to help.
right,
Or, you
right.
know, it just sort of.
These are things
comes
that we
with it,
do
yeah.
right after we leave work, and we're like, let's go to
Yeah.
the rail trail, and we'll do this, we'll do that. So it's not really like an organized thing. So
Mhm.
my point is that if we can do it, and we're not getting paid, we're doing it strictly because we want to help.
Mhm.
Why aren't these big businesses, these big nonprofits, getting this done? I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, I could go on and on about large systems, and I think how they just become this like organism that self-perpetuates and then doesn't fulfill its mission.
Right. Which you said that
yeah.
the other day, and I
Yeah.
didn't understand those big words.
Well,
But
just,
I kind of get it,
yeah,
that
as
they
things
just become
big.
self-sustaining. Like they just, it's like a wheel.
Yeah, you're just the cog in the wheel, and the
Right.
thing just turns,
Right.
and nothing really, and sort of the main mission of big groups tends to get lost in that, and then they just become a thing, like, by themselves.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but when you're making money off of people, the people become a product,
Mhm.
or
I hope they don't look at it that way.
but it
But
is
the-
that way.
It can't. Yeah.
Right?
It is the vibe is like that. Yeah.
Right.
Like what's being done to get these people out of those places, out of shelters, into housing, into jobs.
Right.
And is that happening? Is there a pipeline where these
Right.
things are actually happening?
I'd be curious to see. I know that some of these shelters, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have like a timeline, right? Like you come in and we have 30 days to try to get you housing and get you clean or whatever. I'm curious to see the numbers as how many people are there, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, even longer, right? Because the job of the shelter is to move the beds, right? Because if the beds are always full, there's no room for
Yeah.
people to come in.
The idea is not for it to be permanent housing.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Um,
And I've heard that there are some facilities in our city where people are there, 1,000 days, and to me that it's just self-defeating. Like what?
Yeah, it's not the point of
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Of what, once again, it's not the sort of the mission, right? I mean, the mission is to get people out of the cold, but then when people are out of the cold and there is when these other things have to take place, right? Where like, what
Right.
do you need? How do we get you from point A to point B, right? Which
Yeah.
is self-sufficient, right? Feeling good about your life, making, contributing
Right.
to your friends, your family, your society. I mean, all those things that help us to feel okay.
So I'm just wondering what is the goal behind? What is the goal if your mission is to get people out of there 30 days? What's the benefit to you of keeping them there for 3-4 months?
I don't know. I don't know how the grants work and all that. I don't tend to the funding. But I mean, most of these places are taxpayer funded.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
If not all.
Yeah.
So
I'm going to find out.
Yeah. And there's some treatment program that's very successful too. That my friend knows that the director in this area. So we're going to bring
In
him
this city?
too. Well, he's they have one in Brockton. But we're gonna get him down here too. We're gonna
Yeah.
we just get it done.
Yeah, but you see, that's how we do it, right?
Yeah.
Like we just get it done.
Yeah.
And we will just
Mhm.
get it done, right?
And then then we can write senators and representatives and
Ugh.
tell them how we did it, and hopefully they do it correctly.
Yeah, but I mean, I honestly don't think the answer to this situation is what they're looking for. I think it's just.
Yeah, I hope so.
I think it's just to keep that. What is it? Self-organism.
like this. Yeah, it's like self-sustaining kind of
Right,
system,
because
yeah.
listen, without homeless people, what are you here for, right? So we have to keep that. I don't know. Maybe it's
I hope it's not
conspiracy.
that.
I don't know.
When you hear that, like with the that came out of the military-industrial complex idea,
Right.
right? Was that right? In order to make weapons, you need war,
War.
and so you kind of you like a conflict, and so there's and it may not be purposeful that you go and seek or do conflict, but it just kind of happens because that's how you make your money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But I'm seeing a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a little bit of that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm sure there's cases where that happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
and
like
and
it.
maybe not purposeful, maybe not, whatever that is.
Yeah.
But and some of it even, as an organization, are they like training staff well? Are their staff highly motivated? Are they
Yeah.
paying them appropriately? I mean, all those things come into play.
Listen, I've had personal experience where I happen to know that's an issue.
Yeah.
And it's not good. It's not good.
Mhm.
But I think I told you about this a couple of weeks ago. Like we used to have in retail a Blitz team, right? So
Mhm.
a
Oh, yeah,
store,
you did.
a store would be suffering, and we would get all the managers throughout the United States to come and just focus on the store for a couple of days, get it back to where it needs to be. And I just think that if they just tried that, if they just blitzed the rail trail, have support services down there, have resources down there,
Mhm.
just for a couple of days, I think you'd see some real action happening on that front. Everything just seems to be disjointed right now.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well, let's wait for this. Let's wait for that. This one will be here. We have to call that one. Like,
Well, that's the issue too, and there's a lot of different hands in the pot, and then
There's a lot.
and then I mean, I bet there's well, I know there's like meetings where there's like 10 organizations involved,
Right.
things like that.
right. And I got invited to one of those meetings.
Yeah,
by
that's
the way.
that's why I
Yeah,
mentioned it.
I'm not sure I want to go to something like that. I think that I don't think those things. I haven't seen the work. We've been on the rail trail for 3 or 4 months now.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, yeah.
I'll say this so you don't have to. But I've never
5
seen,
days a week. I've been there, for a few months.
And again, I'll say it so you don't have to. I've never ever seen anyone on the rail trail other than us and the homeless.
Oh, I have twice. And the funny thing, it was after that Wednesday dinner thing was announced, and then that very next day I saw people
right.
You published something on Facebook, and I'm like, why? Yeah, and I suddenly ran into like two groups of outreach workers.
So we'll let the
so
listeners
maybe they're there
decide
at the wrong time, but
we'll let the listeners decide.
We also speak to them, and no one's like, oh yeah, they're here all the time.
Right.
It was like 3 months, 6 months. I haven't seen one in a year. That kind of thing.
Right.
And maybe they're just missing them. I don't know, but it's a little suspect because I was down there, and with 1 week, I was able to meet everybody basically and knew them all by name.
Right. Myself is. Me too.
Yeah.
Right. So to me, that's like a major problem. I did speak to someone who said, "Well, we go there, but they're not there," and we've experienced that, but we just go back.
Yeah. Oh, you got to know what time people are around and not around. And,
right. So we just go back, and ultimately we've seen them all in our travels there.
Yeah. I mean, there may be people I don't know there, but I don't think so at this point.
Yeah. I think we've covered them all. All the encampments. Yeah. So we continue to work on that.
Yeah. And they're doing great. I mean, trash bags, right? Getting them trash bags, like to clean up, getting the trash out of there, like we have.
So let's talk about that. Like we tried to get them to at the very least, if you're going to be guests, which they are, they're guests on the rail trail, for your PR's sake, not even for your own mental health and sanitation and all that, but for PR's sake, clean up, right?
And they know that. Like,
and they have
fools,
been, right?
Yeah. They're afraid of getting forcibly removed.
Right.
Yeah.
So in being afraid, maybe that's a good thing sometimes, right? You gotta because they weren't cleaning.
Well, so I'm not sure, right? Because I think somewhat they were. I think there's a big logistics issue they have, right?
For sure.
Because there's a Taco Bell where they were using that dumpster, and they kept getting in trouble. Therefore, they didn't have, and they could buy trash bags. They could, all that can be true, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I think us just bringing them trash bags,
right? Yeah, because if I'm homeless, the
dramatically.
last thing I'm going to buy
is trash bags. Yeah, and there's other issues there, of course.
So part of that solution was we went and we requested city trash cans.
Yeah.
Which, what's his name? Is it Charlie? Charlie, sorry. Came in and said that he had some trash cans for us. We thought it was like friggin' Christmas, right, that day, because the city had finally said they want to help.
Yeah, and that's when Matt made the post. So that's the thing, and he was, showing you care about them and you want to bring them and make them part of the community. I mean, somebody posts like, "Wow, we have trash cans," right? And they immediately filled them. So I mean, that's the thing, and you can go do that. Oh, they should, and all that stuff. But I don't know. You just help them a little, and they helping us back, and that's what we have a solution that way.
Right, because spring's going to be here, summer's going to be here, the trees are going to fill in. So if they're not going to go anywhere, which until we fix the systematic problems that, and I hope to do that.
I think we'll make progress. Yeah.
Until we do, they're going to be there, right? But they'll be hidden.
Yeah. Once all the
foliage comes, I hate to use hidden,
but that's the reality of it.
But the reality is they'll be behind trees and stuff,
which is. Yeah, I got my issue with that too.
Okay.
Because then, if they're hidden and no one cares, then they don't matter.
But we're the eyes now,
yeah.
So we know
staying there.
They can go behind the trees, but we know that they're still there.
Yeah, they're still going to pop up.
But for the public, it's a good thing, because if they're helping us keep the entire park clean, it just doesn't mean their area, but maybe we encourage them to just keep the park in good shape, right? Because we have plans.
And it's not just them.
For sure.
Yeah, so a lot of it I realized recently comes off the highway, too.
100%. Off the highway. I've been walking on the trail before, and I've seen some kids just throw their Dunkin' Donuts cup on. So it's an educational thing. People have to be educated that
we got to keep it clean, too,
right? And you got to start finding.
people.
You got to start finding people.
I have no problem throwing up a trail can and put people on blast. Yeah,
because all I hear is, "Oh, it's filthy. The city's filthy. I've never seen it so bad." Blah blah blah. As they're throwing something out of their car. So
yeah, we're like as a city, we're responsible for all the litter,
Right.
And there's a ton of
So
it.
listen, if I throw, which I would never do, I used to throw my cup out the window.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not anymore. I would never do it. But if we start enforcing litter laws and things like that, we need to do those things. There's nothing wrong with enforcing a litter law.
The way I mean,
There's
it's
not.
2025. Like, stop throwing your cups out the window already.
Yeah, but you're not going to change.
Stop throwing your trash on the ground.
You're not going to
It's
change
ridiculous.
people. The only way that you're going to change someone is to say, "Here's a $50 ticket for throwing that cup on the floor."
Yeah, if that's what you got to do.
Do
That's
it,
what you got to do.
right?
Yeah, I mean, and I don't have a problem with that because it's ridiculous.
It is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
at this
It is
point,
ridiculous.
Right?
It's the earth. It's our city.
Yeah, we
it's-
understand more about the
Yeah.
world to realize that that's a bad idea.
Don't litter. Don't litter.
It's stupid.
It is stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're taught in grade school not to litter. What happened? We forgot?
So I think and next Wednesday you got a barber to go down there too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're
So
gonna
you
have
get some
a,
haircuts
because listen,
and
I think
talk
that's
more.
I think it's super important. We feed them, we clothe them, we give them the supplies they need and all that stuff. And in
these are
return,
basics of
right?
Yeah,
We're not
basic
giving any luxury
necessities,
gifts
yeah,
here,
yeah.
right? We're giving survival needs.
Yeah,
Survival
necessities
Yeah.
that people have. Yeah, clothing, shelter, warmth, right?
Right.
Food. Yeah.
So, what were we talking about? Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're gonna you have a barber. that volunteered, yeah.
So, I think that getting a barber down there, getting a shower unit, just something down there, a mobile
I'd
shower.
like to get that mobile shower unit.
Can you imagine someone at their deepest, darkest level in life gets a chance to shower, get clean
a hot
clothes,
shower.
have a haircut, get a shave?
Yeah.
What it would do to someone's, I mean, even if it gives them a moment of hope, like you're able to like take away all that heaviness of
Well, it's just
depression
something too
and
that like we do every day, and you take for granted. Can you imagine not having a hot shower? Like I can't even imagine that. Like I've had that my entire life, right?
Yeah, but you notice that when you're depressed, the first thing that goes is your appearance. You stop caring about what you wear and your grooming and all that. And I imagine that after being outside in the winter, living, trying to survive,
it sucks. It's cold,
or an addict,
dirty,
or
yeah.
whatever, the last thing you care about is, I mean, that's the first thing to go. So imagine if we can just take off that layer of depression and self-loathing and all that.
Well, yeah, I think once again we're bringing them into the community,
Right.
And then will they take part in community? I think so. I think that's what happens,
Yeah.
right? Is that if you shun people and you hide them and you kick them off to the side,
Yeah.
then they'll act that way, right?
Right.
But if you bring people in and you help them, and then they'll act that way too. I firmly believe that. I mean, that's how humans, right? That's how we live in groups, right? We help each other, and so I think that the people there will start to do better. And maybe not everyone suddenly whether they have a substance use issue or something get clean and does. But I don't know. Can we hit 50% people that like better themselves in their lives and feel good about that? Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, well on our way, right? Two are housed. As of today, by the way, they moved into a beautiful apartment.
Yeah. Great. Yeah.
One's on the way, or
Yeah. He's he.
which is a huge success story. Kudos to you, because you
No,
you
but
yeah
this
you
is the funny
kind
thing
of
though is I didn't do anything. This is what I want to point about.
You
This
did
is
do
all,
something. You
all we
you
did is
cared.
show. Yeah, that's it. Though.
Right.
That's my point. Is say, hey, you're a human, right?
Right.
How can we be helpful to you? And then this person started to feel better, right? And
Right.
then went out and did something better, right?
Right.
And
So
different.
I got to tell this story. There was a gentleman that lived on the rail trail. Was homeless on the rail trail. Lived amongst again an apocalyptic scene, but his was kind of
Off to the side,
right?
yeah.
So, and he did keep his pretty
Yeah,
manageable.
and most of that, like when you say it's the apocalypse, like the trash, right?
Yeah.
That's when people leave, mostly.
Right.
The people that are living, like, try to organize
Right.
and try to, but when people they take off,
Right.
then everything gets.
I don't
thrown
think
out, thrown around,
apocalyptic
blown
is a
around.
strong word either, from what I've seen.
It's bad. Yeah.
All right. So
Shocking, yeah. He lived off to the side.
He lived right.
Nice person.
But you kind of took you do this with everyone, but you kind of made sure he was all right. He had what he needed. We brought him alcohol, heating alcohol. Calm down. Heating alcohol, and things that he needed. And within 2 weeks,
Yeah,
2
he
weeks.
decided to make a change for his life. But
He
I don't
came
think,
in. He was shaven.
Yeah,
clean.
he came up to me. He's like,
He
"Hey, I just
had
want you to know."
he
Yeah.
had normal clothes on
Yeah.
because he came to the thing Wednesday, the feeding Wednesday.
Yeah.
And I thought he was a volunteer helping,
Mhm.
right? I had no idea it was him because his hair was combed.
Yeah, yeah.
He was groomed.
Yeah.
Had regular clothes on.
Mhm.
And then when you told me, I'm like, get out! That can't be him.
Yeah. I didn't recognize him at first too. And he was like, "Hey, Ryan," and then when he was talking, I'm like, "Oh yeah, wow."
Success story.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
he's
it's wonderful. Yeah,
he's on his
he
way
keeps
to
at it.
becoming a
Yeah.
success story. And again,
And he went and found resources himself.
Right,
He went
right,
out there, like
right.
was hungry to get
That's a
support.
win for you because, and it is.
For
It's a
him.
win for you,
For
for
him,
him. But it's also a win for you that you were able to, for whatever reason, just support him a little
I
bit.
think that was the whole idea, though,
Right,
right? Is that
right.
if you just like show people compassion, right, and
right.
show them like that, society cares about you,
Yeah.
and you can be a part of it, and that's a good thing, right? That people respond to that.
All right, so we've helped 3 human beings get to a better place, right? Didn't cost as much money. Just our
Not a ton of effort. I mean, it's
Right.
not like I'm down there all day. I run there in the morning for like an hour. I could get in and out.
So obvious. So we know what we speak because we have these tangible
Results.
Right.
Yeah. And the place is getting cleaned up.
and the place is getting
Yeah.
cleaned up.
And
So
they're proud of it too.
right.
Yeah.
So we're doing a myriad of things there, right? 2 people,
Mhm.
because this is our focus, right?
Mhm.
So you, me, with just 2 people.
Yeah, and
not
other
an
people
agency
coming, yeah.
here, an agency there,
Not millions in funding
and grants and all
yeah,
that
employees
stuff.
and yeah.
And I'm still broke,
Just some
so
people
it's not
that
like I'm
care.
making any money off it.
You did well today.
But I did well today. But I mean, that's a good point. I think when things get done and are successful, when they're done with good intentions,
Mhm.
people should know about it, right? I don't think I've ever told anyone that we're on our 3rd person that we've been able to help,
Yeah.
right? In a very short amount of time.
Yeah, and I think it's going to continue.
It is
So,
going to continue.
Yeah. So
100%.
people, and this was all by sort of accident, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were just cleaning up the rail trail, and I was like, oh, whoa, there's a whole bunch of people living here, and
Right.
there's a whole bunch of people living here.
Did you not know?
I didn't know those. Like I knew about other
Yeah.
areas
Because I didn't even know
but
the
they
rail
were
trail was
smaller.
there.
They were smaller areas, right? And that's because my office is down the other end, so I
Right.
would always be down that, and then I'd go explore, and that's
Right.
how I, would meet people. But they were smaller camps, and then the one behind where the cell tower is, I think that business, I was told, is that business had the police remove them, and
Yep.
that area is a disaster zone to this day
Yep.
because they just removed them, and so
Yeah.
all the stuff's there, just getting blown around, matted
Right.
down. and-
Because not
yeah.
in my first of all, I didn't even know the rail trail existed. I've been here my whole life.
Mhm.
It's just that I was watching Facebook one day and someone said something about it. I'm like, I can't imagine where that would be behind the police station. It took me 20 minutes to find it, but I finally did. And I blew it up on social media because I'm like, are you kidding me? We have this in the
It's
city?
fantastic, yeah.
And I don't even know about it. And so the comments started coming in. Oh, I didn't know. I've lived here my whole life. I didn't
Mhm.
know. I've lived here. So not a lot of people, I'm sure half the city knew about it at
I
one
used to
time.
walk that
but-
when it was just the railroad tracks when I was a kid.
Okay, so I think it's an important resource to the city.
Yeah, and we're gonna make it real cool this year.
Right,
We're
so-
gonna start it.
Yes, so I think that we're on the road to a big thing here,
Mhm.
right? And I hope that people who get paid to do this,
Mhm.
or that is their profession or whatever,
Mhm.
I hope they take little pieces of this. I mean, you don't have to admit it. You don't have to admit that we have been successful. Take the
Well,
credit
but-
for it. But
Yeah. And
you can
but
take the credit for it, but in the
find things that
end,
work and just do it.
right?
Yeah.
In the end, we want people to be better,
Mhm.
right? That's all we want.
Yeah.
What do you feel about people who say you got to stop posting about the homeless people? You got to stop showing it. Blah blah blah.
For what reason?
You show it too much. You shouldn't show where they live.
You know me. I don't really care.
Yeah, you
Just
don't care.
opinions are. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have my right. I think about my beliefs, values, and then I go express them in the world. And if people don't like it, like,
Okay,
tough,
but
yeah.
you don't do it. I do. So
Oh, yeah,
what do
that
you
is
say
true,
to
yeah.
people who say you shouldn't post it on Facebook? And
I would say you shouldn't post it. I'm awesome at it.
Because again, the reason I do it is first of all, it helps with donations, and
Yeah.
not monetary donations. It helps with people bringing in clothes,
Yeah,
shoes,
I mean, we've
hats.
gotten everyone down there has
Right.
like warm. It was warm now. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We've been able to make sure that
Yeah.
people are warm. We have been able to
Yeah.
do that.
And with you making posts and people
Right.
helping supply that.
So the reason I make a post is so that I can get things from the community to bring to the
Yeah.
rail trail to help these
And it
people
works,
out.
yeah.
Not only the rail
Every
trail,
need's been met.
but other encampments.
Whenever I say, what do you need, right? You're able to
Right.
to get that
We
stuff.
need tents, we need sleeping bags. I post it, we
If we
get it,
tents and
right?
sleeping bags, yeah.
I also think it's very important that people not be like how I was for the longest time and not knowing that the rail trail is there, right? So I have to show the realities of the rail trail. I will always post when we go there and feed someone. I don't care how many times I post it, I'm going to post it. Because we also need to see that there's some efforts by these amazing people who have full-time jobs and
Yeah.
families and
Yeah,
other
showing
things
up
going
and
on
helping, yeah.
who are showing up, right?
People are emailing, people are reaching out.
Right.
How can I be a part of this?
Right.
Yeah.
By posting, we got the EMS there to give vaccines, right? I mean, he's like, I saw it on your post, right? So we're able to get resources and help from the community by posting, and I'm just not going to stop. Right?
Yeah, and somebody has that opinion, fine.
Yeah.
You can have that opinion.
Yeah,
but-
because they still have that opinion.
But that's their opinion.
Yeah.
So,
Because I'm very fair about it. I use my page because of the reach to post eggs and then post a homeless encampment, right? So
Yeah.
obvious, it's clear in how I post that it's not done for marketing my business or myself. It's clear
Well, that would be odd marketing for a cafe.
it would be odd, but people are odd, and
They
have,
think that.
yeah.
Well,
So there
are
you
you
go.
gonna
So the next step.
yeah, because this is working with these people and helping these people just sort of happened by virtue of our plans. With the rail trail.
Yeah. So what I envision there is, because there's a lot of water, there's a few bodies of water there, right? You've kayaked in one of them. I would love to say we, but so there's like one body. There's three.
Well, the whole thing is the Quequechan River. Yeah, it's a river that goes through. That's a river that goes all the way through.
Right.
And it
But
goes
there's
all the way
one
down to the
side,
Pond
then there's
River.
another, and then what's the?
It's not though.
What's the separate one?
The highway just went. They just built that highway.
I understand.
Through the river. Yeah.
But near your office, there's a body of water.
That's the Quequechan River.
Okay. But then it stops and there's
No, it
land.
doesn't. It goes through it. It goes underground in a pipe and comes out the other side.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, essentially, I'm right because the river stops and goes through a pipe.
It's the whole thing's one river. Though.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Broken up to look like it's not one river.
Yeah. And then it's eventually piped underground and comes
Right.
out near Battleship Cove.
Right. So
It's
what
the
I
Pond River.
what I envisioned is, on Southwood Tupper Pond, they have like ice sailing and stuff.
Yeah, I
like
saw that today. There were like 6 of them out there.
Right. So I posted that yesterday too because Fiorentina Pizza posted it, and then
Yeah.
I reposted it, and people were like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, it was cool.
I see things like that. Not that because it's not big enough, but
And that's on the rail trail, by the way, too.
right,
Yeah.
right. Kayaking. I say bumper boats. You say swan boats. But imagine, listen.
Water fire.
I'm not
things,
exaggerating
food
when I
trucks.
say that the rail trail is like our Central Park.
Yeah, it could
Right? It could be,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I think it's an amazing place. I think it's been neglected for a long time. Wouldn't take a lot. And I'm sure the city, the residents of the
be.
city,
Grant money out there.
would
for it,
would
yeah.
chip in and right. So I don't want to hear that finances are an excuse
No.
because I can get people
There's
to.
millions of dollars to spend
Right.
every day
Right.
on all
Right.
kinds of stuff.
So what I want everyone to imagine is a place like Central Park that you can walk past a soccer field. Soccer, it's soccer. Yeah.
Or football.
Is that a
Maybe
soccer field?
European. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, and you can have benches near the water.
There's like a workout area.
There's a
over there.
workout area. There's the trail itself.
Yeah, biking, walking.
Biking,
You can have some kind of boating type things over there.
boating,
Yeah.
like your Swan Boats, if you think it's like a huge deal. But
They're popular.
they are popular.
Yeah.
But that's a big, huge tourism thing, right?
Yeah.
Can you imagine the amount of people that would come to Fall River
Lights.
to get on a silly Swan?
But you see like the lights on them too at night. They have
Yeah,
it, like,
I mean
lit up
they're
and-
beautiful,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Water fire type things along it.
food
You could have-
carts.
Arts and crafts fairs. I mean, you could do all kinds of cool things. Though.
Right. So I think the investment would be small, but the turnaround for that, or what am I trying to say? The investment would be
return,
small.
yeah.
The return on that would be huge.
Yeah, it would be a cool place.
Right?
We could make it a really cool place.
We
That'd
could
be
make it a
fishing
really
lessons.
cool
So you
place.
can do all kinds of neat things there.
Right,
For kids,
and I think
for
people,
families.
it would be a destination place because you could go and have food. You can go and watch the wildlife. There is actual wildlife there,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I just see a lot of things happening there. A lot of things.
So this will have to get city involvement, obviously, right? Because it's their property, but and see what can be done. But I'm sure we can get it done.
Yeah, but I think the mayor saw the vision and he's all excited about
Yeah,
it too.
we can get it done. I'm not worried about that. I'm just saying it's
yeah.
not like if I could just go there and do it, I would just go there and do it. But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can't. Yeah, we need.
So I'm
city
looking for an
permission.
artist that can put our vision into a picture,
Yeah, a few pictures. Yeah,
either
different ideas.
digitally or.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
So we're looking for that.
Yeah. If anybody wants to
Yeah.
help out with that, that would be fantastic.
What is it called? A planogram or
I don't know.
what do you call when you
You
a
said
rendering?
vision board. Oh, a rendering.
A vision, yeah.
okay.
So a rendering of our vision
Yeah.
for what it could be.
Yeah.
For what it could be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think once people see that, they'll be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
hopefully finish the loop too, going around the extension.
Right.
On it. It's going to be, really nice area.
Right. So now you have the waterfront that's developing
Mm-hmm.
nicely. You have a Central Park. Change the
Yeah.
name from
So
Rail
you
Trail
go
to
shopping,
Central Park.
restaurants, hotel down in the waterfront area,
Right.
and then there's a little nature reserve over here. You can
Right.
visit it. Yeah, I mean, it
Right.
can make for a nice place.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I say we do it.
yeah, we are.
Let's do it.
I
But
don't care.
first,
We decided that.
it's got to be clean. It's got to be cleaned.
Oh yeah, and it's
Yeah.
going to have to be maintained in that fashion.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And that's going to be some effort, but it's not a ton of effort.
Right.
Yeah.
And when I say clean, it's not moving. This is heavy cleaning. Some of these are heavy cleaning.
Oh yeah, we're going to have
Bulldozers.
have to have companies come down and clean out some of those abandoned areas for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I just happen to know a guy.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
not a
He
problem.
he did a great job, and we'll keep them
Right.
going.
Right.
And the DOT too said they were going to go down there regularly when it's warmer.
And they are
Yeah.
going down there regularly, right? Taking the trash and things.
Well, it's frozen right now, so part of
Right,
it is frozen.
right,
When
right,
it warms
right.
up,
Right.
you can start taking some things off the ground that you
Yeah.
can't get right now.
I see huge things. Listen, I've got a hot dog cart, an ice cream cart. I'd be happy to bring
Big
that down
outdoor,
there
like,
in the summer
barbecue
when the
things,
kids
all
are
kinds of
playing
cool-
soccer
Yeah.
and I mean, listen, it's got to be done. It's got to be done.
Yeah, we had the food truck festival down at the gates down there, right? And that's cool down there, but it would be way better at a park, right?
It would
We
be
could have
way better at a
games,
park.
You could have like sailing lessons, you could have fishing lessons,
Right.
you could have all these
Right.
cool things
I
going
think
on.
I think when you put a bunch of food trucks on a black asphalt in 90-degree temperatures, I don't think it's comfortable. So in a park, it's my opinion.
Yeah.
It's my opinion, right?
Steal there, right?
Because I remember it was like 101 degrees and they're on black asphalt and
Not many places to sit.
I don't
like,
want a
but
hot dog.
Yeah, at a park you could throw a blanket down, right?
Right.
They have that little BMX like bike track in there too.
Right.
I mean the place is cool. Or
So if
RC races, we could like organize
Right.
events like that.
So if you have food trucks in this beautiful park near the water, done.
yeah. And you can do so many cool things down there.
Yeah.
Get kids out of the house, right? Get families out of the house, enjoying, right?
Yeah.
The beauty that we have
Yep.
in the middle of the city.
I'm loving that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it could be. Listen, if money is your objective in this game, and you're in the city or listening,
Yeah.
um,
Oh, like city revenue?
right?
Oh,
Think
yeah.
of the revenue for tourism.
Yeah, you can pull in extra. Yeah, I don't know how much, but it's going to be more than they're pulling in for them now, which is zero. So.
Right. And morale, pride.
Yeah.
Those things are huge. Which, by the
Recreation.
way, if you raise pride and morale in the city, yeah, money
Yeah.
starts flowing.
Yeah, and I bet there'll be a lot less litter thrown around.
A
too.
lot less litter, right? Because now everyone's knowing that we're paying attention
Yes,
to
it's a nice place. You don't wreck nice
Right.
places, right?
Right.
You wreck lousy places.
I mean, perfect example. We took our eye off the Flint for a couple of months, and look what happened,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, we've proven everything.
Yeah, this stuff isn't that difficult. It just takes effort, I think, and then maybe not doing what's always been done. And I'm big on that. Like whatever the system's doing, right? If this big system is here that's supposed to be working on this problem, but the problem's still here, then the system's broken, right?
Right.
It needs to be disrupted. It needs to be changed, right? Other ideas need to be
Right.
tried.
So that's what someone told me last week that really upset me is, well, it's been that way forever, and that's just the way it is. And I'm like, how did that work out for you? Because we
Yeah.
just had a conversation about how terrible everything is.
Yeah.
But you're saying, well, that's how it is. Well, maybe it
Doesn't have
should
to be that
stop
way,
being
though.
that way. Maybe you all should get to work.
Yeah, do something different. and see if it works. If that doesn't, then try something different and see if it works. Something's going to work, right? Better than what you currently are doing.
Yeah, because this is frustrating, and I just want things to work for everyone, right?
No, the place is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's how could it not be, right? If there's some effort put down there.
No, and I mean, I think with the parks, listen, Fall River has some world-class parks.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right? Yeah. Just because is it topography?
The landscape, yeah.
Right,
yeah.
like Kennedy
the
Park,
hills going
right?
down, yeah.
So we have some world-class parks here. We need to elevate them a little bit, right? Yeah. I mean, we have a park that's in front of a cathedral.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
picture perfect,
There's
right?
a huge ice skating rink, fountain.
Right?
And getting that thing repaired would be a beautiful thing too. That big fountain in the middle over there. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
So you know what? If you want tourism, you want revenue, you want all that stuff. I don't know. Make it the land of parks.
Make it nice.
Make it the city of parks, right?
With little festivals going, music festivals, art festivals.
Right.
You know.
Right.
I mean, craft beer festivals, anything like that.
Because
right?
listen, putting all of your eggs into Route 79 and your little downtown circle there.
I mean, it's probably going to be nice down there, but we're
it's going to be
years
beautiful
out on it, and I don't. Yeah, there's.
But
there's
you
more
have
in the city.
95% of the city still. You know, you don't want to forget about.
Yeah, people aren't going to go there, right? If like the city is a mess and it starts to encroach on that area.
Right. Yeah. So you've got to look at the big picture and not just one little piece of it.
Yeah, and then if they go there, well, we want them to go in other places. But so great, whoever develops that, the business, they're going to make a lot of money. Great. What about the rest of the city, right?
Right.
It's not going to economically advantage everyone else.
It's kind of what's happened is you take care of this part and the rest just kind of decline and fall apart. Now you got a big mess over here.
Yeah.
And what do? Just ignore it like it doesn't exist. It drives me insane when that little park left of that little park.
Street.
No, that too.
Oh, okay.
Which is magnificent, by the way.
It's a cool place.
All right.
Yeah.
That little part over by City Hall, they're trying to rename it something, that little neighborhood. It drives me crazy that those people constantly get the improvements and the grants and all that stuff. And there's so much, thank God now it's being funneled down to the waterfront, but it drives me crazy that the Flint is a disaster.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
East Main is a disaster. Columbia Street is a disaster. And I want people to raise their hands and say, hey, we're here. Like, what about us? So that's where I come in.
Yeah, I think, we'll make that place nice. I think it'll be like a jewel, for the city. And it will attract people.
It could be a jewel.
It'll spread people out into the city in a positive way and not just like a couple of restaurants and bars down by the river.
Yeah. Because not everyone wants that.
No.
But everyone wants a park. Yeah.
Yeah. Especially
families.
Yeah, with cool things happening for kids too.
Right. Because not everyone's going to want that. There are families who want to walk someplace.
Yeah.
Get your parks in order. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and that place is primed to have everything. Literally everything.
It is
could do
prime.
Recreation.
It is Central Park.
Yeah.
I firmly believe that.
So yeah, we'll keep annoying people and getting things done.
I know. I annoy a lot of people.
I get some trash bags to bring down there today.
Listen, you have to make some noise sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Got to disrupt the systems.
Because people just get complacent with what they're doing. If you're getting a paycheck every single week for years and years and years, why change?
Yeah. Well, and there's risk to speaking up too. to change, right? If your livelihood's dependent on the system.
Yeah.
I mean that's
right.
Yeah. That's part of the issue. Once again, those big systems, right? It's hard to change them because I got to feed my family, right? So
I guess.
I'm just going to go along with it.
I mean, I got to feed my family too. I take risks.
Well, you're not part of a big system.
No, I'm not part of a big
You're a small
system.
cafe. I mean, I get out too, right? So I did my own thing. So, and that's why I think we're continuing this kind of, right?
Yeah.
We're doing our own thing.
Yeah.
Out in,
but at some point, listen,
sphere.
you have to hold people accountable when they're dealing with humans. You have to hold them accountable for doing their job. You have to call them out. You have to say this is not working. You have to say if the treatment's bad or what. I mean, you have to advocate for your brother or sister.
Yeah, and it's taxpayer money. I mean, right? Everyone complains about paying
Yeah,
taxes. You want to spend
that.
well, right?
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to say?
No, I think we covered yeah, where we're going with it.
All right.
Cool. All right.
Bye.
Bye. That was long.